But I'm like, she was hot as hell, and then all of a sudden, like she pissed off Beyonce fans, and it was just like your career's over.
I mean, it happens that way. The baby is feeling it.
Speaking of Carrie Hilson, they had Carrie Hilson in Orange Grove Projects on that Rich Boy video. Throw some D's on it. You know what I'm saying? I just had to throw that out there.
But you got to think.
Oh, was it Roger? I think it was Roger Williams. My bad, Roger Williams project. Yeah.
What up? It's Three Brothers No Sense. I am Tavares Ferguson, a.k.a. Ferg. Join my co-host Razi and Buff. Fellas, tell them what's on your minds.
What's going on? I just want to say Shang-chi. I got it right. They actually explain how to say his name inside of the movie. So it is Shang-chi, and it is freaking awesome. It is a really, really good movie. It takes a lot of the like karate movie, martial art movie tropes and turns them on their head, uses them in a good way, and at the same time has a very good storyline, very good plot. So I kudos to him, hats off to the director, the cast. I mean, it's a mostly Asian cast and they all did an awesome job. So I'm just excited for it, man. So if you haven't seen it, go out, check it out. I think it's going to set a record for the Labor Day opening weekend. And so with all of that, man, just go check it out. That's all I got.
Is it on Disney Plus or anything, or you have to go to the theaters?
It'll be there after 45 days. They have a 45-day window where they're only going to be in theaters. And then after that, then it's going to Disney Plus.
I know that's pissing Scarlett Johansson off.
Yeah. That makes her lawsuit even better, right? It's like, oh, y'all did that for him, but didn't do it for me, type thing.
I'm proud of you for not spoiling it though, because usually you would have said something.
He did good.
I'm proud of him. Yeah. See, give him his roses.
I just was gonna. I don't know if I want to I can't. It's not fair to criticize the CDC, man, but I just was thinking over the last 20 months, dealing with this virus and stuff, it seems like, man, I know they're doing their best, but I have to be honest. At times they have definitely looked a little incompetent and gave some firepower to conspiracy theories, man. It's just I remember in the beginning, like, you know, you can't wear a regular mask. It can only be N95. Then it was like, oh, no, you can't wear a regular mask. No, it's not airborne. Yes, it is. I just was like, I know they're doing their best, but I'm just saying, if you're one of those people that's highly critical of getting the vaccine and things like that, you definitely have had some ground to stand on because they've been kind of fucking up here and there. So I just wanted to put that out there. And also, Razi, your Netflix recommendation, I think it's Friends from College.
Yeah.
I want to say you called it funny. Yeah, it's funny. But a lot of people should be getting killed, beat up, and murdered on that show.
It's a lot of what we call fuckery.
Yes, absolutely. So it's funny, but it ain't really that funny. Because somebody need to get fucked up.
Did you get to the scene where they're like upstairs? He's about to do it, and everybody's downstairs.
He's about to do it.
I'm describing it in a way that doesn't spoil anything. But the scene where like they're upstairs and everybody else is downstairs, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Oh man, like
I was like,
oh wow.
Okay, so they was ready to die that night. Got it. Okay.
Oh, so Z put me on, and when she laughed too hard, like, look, hey. Everybody got to get it, you know.
Tabitha said they some trash friends. She was like, they're not really friends. They trash behavior.
I'm noticing that about shows. I'm like, dog, people have some real trash friends in TV shows.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I forgot what I was watching the other day, and I'm like, all y'all are trash. Yeah. So,
nice cut, right?
Speaking of.
Appreciate it. I got it on threebrothersnosense.com.
Wow. I may check that out after the show.
I haven't finished watching it yet, so no spoilers, but I did start Clickbait. I'm pretty far in, I guess.
Good show.
I haven't even started it yet, so yeah. That's kind of my binge for the probably tomorrow.
Oh, so I should try to spoil as much as possible, huh?
I don't care.
It's actually kind of hard to spoil that show because it's a lot of cliffhangers and that bite. But no, it's been pretty good so far. I will tell you, Z made the observation, and it's not a spoiler, Razi, that Pia is what's her name? She is the chick from Hey Arnold, all grown up. But outside of that, I want to say football season has kicked off. College football season is going on. Yeah. And it was some good games yesterday. The funniest thing of the whole weekend was Miami was talking, and I'm not an Alabama fan by any means, but Miami was talking cash.
Were they really? They didn't know they were going to lose?
No,
they said they were going to win by 50 or something like that. Like they were like, there's no chance Alabama going to win.
And they dropped down to
that couldn't have been real Miami fans, yo. Hell no.
That was the coach.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it's like, well, maybe they know something we don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it was just crazy, that whole thing. I think I posted in the group me, like, Alabama has 3 NFL head coaches or previous head coaches on their staff. That's crazy in itself. Like, to have 3 head coaches come down to college level and work under Nick Saban, but I guess it's Nick Saban, right? So, oh well. But just that in general, man, Alabama is they are not fair. They're a cheat code in itself.
Yeah. It was nice to see Clemson lose too.
Yeah. I am scared. UAB has to play Georgia next weekend.
Oof.
So
it wasn't like y'all gonna win if Clemson would have won, bro. Like,
I mean, I was hoping, because I watched the game, hoping that I was like, okay, maybe we would have a chance, hold them down a little bit. If our defense held up, and we got lucky, the stars aligned that we could actually win
against Georgia.
Yeah. I know better.
University of Georgia, right? Buff, I don't know if you know who I was talking about from Hey Arnold. Check your phone. Her name is Helga Pataki.
Yeah.
And when
I'm gonna drop pictures of them on the screen.
I've never watched an episode of Hey Arnold, but I've seen memes of it. That's exactly who I pictured when you said it, because
she is a grown up version of her.
Yeah. It was awful.
The eyebrows, everything. So
it took me like 3 episodes to just stop looking at that and actually listen to what she was saying.
But did you ever completely stop? It comes back every once in a while. It's like it's just not her haircut. It's just her whole demeanor. It was just like her haircut matches her demeanor. Yeah. And she does some dumb stuff too. So
yeah. Thinking of a wild haircut, there's a show on Netflix called SAS, Rise of the Black Swan, I think. It's a British action movie, and it's really, really good too. So if you want an hour and a half, go check that out. It's a different take. It's more of a psychological take on an action movie, and so it's really cool to kind of look at psychopaths from an action movie perspective. So check that out.
Okay.
Well, there was a request, more so of a movement started.
Oh yeah,
I think there's a hashtag.
A hashtag called "Bring Back Sophie."
All right, cool. Hold on, let me get her. Let me grab her.
Okay, I'm just kidding. Can you give the people what they want?
Anybody sipping anything? Too early?
Nah, it's not even too early, man.
It's not too early. But
I'm just tired, man. It's been a crazy last month or so. Ripping and running not ripping and running, just a lot going on this past week. And Friday and Saturday was super busy. And I just want to, you know how liquor just kind of makes you just more tired than you already are.
Oh, yeah.
Or brings you.
Definitely.
I don't need any energy downers. Just love your hair today, Sophie.
Thank you.
What are you eating?
Candy.
What kind of candy?
From my secret candy stash.
What kind of candy you got?
It was, I don't remember.
You didn't offer me any candy last time I was there.
I didn't have a secret candy stash back then.
Okay, we can agree to disagree. So do you have a good joke for us today? Hold on. Did you know that, you know what a hashtag is?
Yes.
So there was a hashtag started called Bring Back Sophie.
Daddy told me about that.
Yeah, people wanted to hear about you and not so much your daddy. So, but we're not going to tell him that, okay?
Well, he has to edit the podcast.
He might miss this part. All right, Sophie, it's on you. Give us a joke.
Do you know how a dog made his fortune?
Hold on.
A dog made his fortune. A golden retriever.
No.
No? Okay.
No.
That's a good guess.
I like my effort, though.
Yeah, I like that one. But it wasn't the right answer.
What you got, Ferg?
I got nothing. What do you have for us? What is the answer, Sophie?
In roofing. That's my
There was another joke that the punchline was something about roofing a long time ago.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one, Sophie.
Hey, Ollie.
Welcome back, Sophie. Welcome back.
Welcome back, Sophie.
I'm coming back every episode.
Yeah.
Yes, because Daddy has been banned.
No, he can't be banned. He can't be banned. He's Daddy. And he's even on the shirt already. And who else will edit the show?
That didn't stop Destiny's Child.
All right, Ollie, you have a joke for us?
Yeah.
Who's there, Ollie?
I'm thinking of one.
He did it.
I'm thinking of one.
So,
Go ahead.
How did the tortoise?
so Ollie is original. Ollie's coming up with his own original jokes.
How did the hamster get the house? How did the hamster get his house?
I don't know, Ollie. Hold on, Byron. Do you have any guesses?
I have none.
He paid for it.
Oh God. Oh.
All right.
Wow. I'll pay for it. Wow.
When he first started, I thought he was about to say "these nuts." Because the way he said "do you," I thought I heard D. I was like, "Oh no!"
Oh man. Which would have been hilarious. Any punchline with "these nuts" in it is hilarious. Oh man.
Anyway,
okay.
I want you guys to know I'm fired up today. So.
Okay, well, we're gonna let you kick it off then.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, all right. Well, let's do it, man. It deals with social media, and we've talked about the good and bad of social media. It's definitely there's a lot of good to it, but then part of the bad is spreading misinformation. That's what has gotten this country in partly in the shape that it's in now. Just spreading misinformation. And people like believing it and continuing to spread it like it's the truth. And I want to talk about one that really, I'm not going to say it upset me, but it did. So maybe I will say that. It angered me. There was a post going around and people were sharing it like it's true, saying that Space Age Pimpin' is not a romantic love song. And you know, I've listened to that song for years, and I said, you know what, maybe I'm wrong. I went back and read the lyrics, and no, it is a rope. So I don't know who came up with that meme or that post, but I wanted to use my platform to shout it down and correct the information and right this wrong. It most definitely is a romantic love song. And I just wanted to see if you two brothers were on board with me. And if not, why do you oppose? And I need to hear your evidence for why you do oppose.
There is none. There is none.
There's no opposition. But just it's definitely up there. You know,
I don't even think has another rapper used the word oblige since MJG?
I doubt it. I doubt it. It's up there with Kimi Casanova using charcuterie.
Oh man! So I'm thinking, Byron, can you? Let's break it down.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure you already had the words pulled up.
What is it? I'll be obliged.
I'll be obliged if you step outside because my ride is awaiting.
Have you ever, in your smoothness, ever told a woman that?
No, I have not. I have not.
I've even had homeboys pull up and honk the horn.
This brother is pretty much saying he will be indebted to her if he will be grateful if she just come outside. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He didn't text. He didn't call.
He went up to the door, knocked on it, and said, "I'll be obliged if you come back outside with me."
And listen, you don't refer to your car as my ride unless it's nice and clean. So I imagine that he went, got it washed and waxed, vacuumed the inside of it. So his car.
Then this is 8 Ball you're talking about. It's candy painted.
Yes. And look, we've talked about this group in the past I think we were talking about like the evolution of rap lyrics. And on their debut album, they had a song called Pimps. And I think we were talking about, lyrics that we look back on. And that was a verse where 8 Ball said, push her head into the wall till you hear a cracking sound. I think it's the one I quoted. This is a leap and a jump from that. Okay? They're talking about whining and dining and taking her.
The mood. What is it? The mood is perfected by the sounds of the storm.
Yes.
You. When you hear the lyrics, you instantly get in the mood. Like, all right, it is definitely romantic in how he's doing it. The tempo of it all, the way he's semi-whispering with it. He's not yelling in that song
at all.
He is swooning that girl.
And then 8 Ball on his verse, he goes further into the relationship beyond just a date, and he lets her know, your friends just be wishing they was in your position. So all that negative stuff that they're talking about, you can let them mess it up if you want. But as soon as you roll out, they're going to be trying to get with me. So he's like giving her warnings and advice for all the young ladies out there. Don't let nobody mess with your relationship. You know what I mean? So I just, seriously,
this is I'm going back to the lyrics, and I just realized he has open communication. He's being honest with her. She asks him a list of questions, and he responds, "Would you kill for me?" It's open communication.
Yeah. If my life is in danger too.
Yes. Yeah. I like how he didn't lie.
Would you steal from me? No, I would not, because I am not doing anything illegal. I am an upstanding citizen. So the only time I'm stealing is if it belongs to you.
That's right.
But I will feel for you.
As long as you act true.
If the way you act is true.
That's right. I mean, and that's MJG's verse. And I like how another aspect that 8 Ball is talking about. What do women complain about a lot? Men not listening. In his verse, he's listening. You know what I mean? So it definitely is a love song. I mean, constantly telling me the things you won't do. Like he knows her better than she knows herself. So
yeah.
I'm sorry. I had to call these people out. Maybe you need to, I don't know, I know everybody likes to try to go back and revisit past songs and say they were toxic. This is not their case right here. This is a true romantic love song where these two gentlemen are talking about listening to their women, whining and dining, taking them out, being grateful for them to even just come out the door. So pick something else.
Communications.
Yeah. Pick something else. Pick a 2 Live Crew song or something like that. But leave this particular track, Space Age Pimpin', alone. You can leave it alone. And no, but after last week, man, I wanted to do something fun, and I did see that post, and I saw people. The original post actually said, "Dear men in their 40s from the South, Space Age Pimpin' is not a romantic song."
Yeah, did I tag you in it?
I don't know. I don't know how I saw it. You may have, man.
So I think didn't Ani share it with us or something?
She may have.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. Is she shared it in our group chat? Oh man, I love that song, man. Speaking of that, though, did y'all see that Drake dropped
Certified Lover Boy?
Certified Lover Boy, but he leaked the song with Andre 3000 in it.
No,
it was supposedly off of Donda that didn't make the album.
No, Kanye did that, I thought.
No. Kanye created it. Drake leaked it.
Oh, okay.
Because it supposedly was a diss song against him.
Yeah.
In it. And I was like, but going back to Andre's verse on it, man, it's so good. Like, I don't know what Andre's thinking by not making music anymore, but I need him to get serious about it, man, and come back.
You still have it? Because I procrastinated. I had the link. I shared it with people, and I was like, I'll listen to it later. And when I click on the link, it was like no longer available.
I don't have it anymore. I listened to it like right there.
That's what I get.
But, like, people are sharing the lyrics or whatever from it, and it's serious, man. It's so good. It's so good.
But the thing about Dre is, it's a catch-22. Like, he hasn't. When's the last time he dropped the album?
Oof, it's more than 10 years, right?
Idlewild? Wasn't Idlewild their last?
Yeah, Idlewild was the last album because it came out
after Speakerbox, The Love Below. Yeah.
So that was around 2005, 2006. Call it 2006. 15 years later, people are still requesting this dude to produce music. He's relevant.
Yes.
What happens if he drops something and it's a flop?
Yeah, that's true. The pressure is like super on. Yeah.
I think he's mentioned that too in the interview. Like,
there's I don't think there's any that. Maybe this is a segue then. Like, name the 3 biggest stars who have been like so out of the game or so far gone that if they dropped the album today, like, it would be an anticipated album is what everybody wants, I guess. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Dre and stuff like that. But if they drop something, it
like a Lauryn Hill.
Yeah, like Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn dropped another album. It's like the pressure is so on. Erykah Badu's probably the same way, right? Like, if she drops something, people will be all on it, but that pressure's super on. But I think the Outkast is the holy grail of that. Like, if Outkast was to drop something right now, oh my God, like, everybody would be on it.
Does their sound still resonate with, or can they adapt to the sound of today? You know, we love the nostalgia of them, and you love them on a feature with somebody who's doing it today. But could Dre give you 12 to 15 tracks? I think he can, but it's it could still, he could drop an album today. It could be better than Donda and all this Donda and stuff like that. But would it be what we're expecting it to be?
I think Nas is the perfect example of that. Like, Nas brought out his album and it dropped, and it's that perfect blend. It's classic Nas from a lyrical perspective, but then it's current day production. So it still has that kind of feel that you're looking for today. And he did have a lot of features on that brought it back to kind of current day.
But I think his music caters to more hip hop heads and people who are going to appreciate his lyrics and stuff like that. And maybe if he can get a banger or two, they're okay with that. Outkast / 3K classic album is different than a Nas album. A Nas album is something you can just, success for him is not the same as it would be for 3,000. Outkast, in my opinion.
Yeah.
that was a good album. It's a good album, and you can appreciate it for being a good album. But that Outkast album, Outkast is known for making bangers. They're known for making club hits. They're known for making shit that's going to change. I don't know if is it worth the gamble. He might be like Prince. They might be like Prince. They might have so much music sitting around somewhere in a vault that they're like, man, I can't release this.
Mm-hmm.
I just keep making features and driving around Atlanta.
Go ahead, Buffy. You were trying to jump in on that.
No. I was going to say something that's unpopular, so I think I'll probably hold off on it.
No. Go ahead. That's the whole point.
You don't think 3,000's that?
No, well, you're close. I do think 3,000 is dope, but in the conversation of including him as a solo artist on any type of Mount Rushmore or top 5, I personally can't do it. And I know a lot of people from the South, especially Ani, we mentioned her, they hate hearing that. But to me, in order to be considered one of the GOATs, you need to consistently be able to do it by yourself. Now, if you're in a group, this dude's stupid. If you're in a group, then yes, I do think Outkast as a group or duo is one of the GOATs. But you have to be able to do it. You have to be able to do it with solo projects in order for me to consider you a solo artist GOAT. And
yeah,
you can't get away with. I think his verse on International Players Anthem, that's a top 5 verse of all time, in my opinion. Throughout the history of hip hop, that's a top 5 verse. But as far as like a solo artist, I can't put him above Jay. I can't put him above some of the other people that people consider GOATs. I can't do it because it's hard to consistently put out a solo project with 13, 14, 15 tracks. And we just talked about Nas. Nas has had some duds. Nostradamus. I want to say the one after Godson. I think Life is Good.
Street Disciples. Yeah. Street Disciples dope to me.
And he's come back with these last 2 King's Diseases, but it's hard to consider. Jay-Z fell victim to it. So that's my only thing that I was going to say, but I still think he's dope. Yeah, and I still think people are going to not like.
I don't disagree with that. I think there's different Rushmores, right? Mm-hmm. And I think you can maybe make the arguments 3 Stacks can go on like greatest lyricist, and put him there versus artist because of that whole. Hey, if you're going to do a solo artist, it's very hard to put him there from a solo artist standpoint. But when you talk about lyrically, that's easy to be able to say, regardless of if he's a performer, yada, 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 lyrically, I think he has some of the best wordplay out there that you're going to find.
But the fact that he's in a group and we're still talking about him and he has never had a solo album.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, I love Big Boy, but people are screaming for 3 Stacks.
And speaking of Big Boy, like, you mentioned him, Andre, standing out and he's in a group. And it's not like he's standing out against someone that's a slouch. Big Boy is dope as hell. You know what I mean?
Like, because you hear, because I've, in the 15 years since then, you've heard Outkast needs to make an album or Andre needs to make an album. Mm-hmm. You rarely hear like, dog, Big Boy just need to go ahead and drop an album on his own. Like, you don't hear that conversation.
Well, he has.
I think Speaker Box kind of cut a lot of people because it was good, but it was like, I'm listening to Speaker Box to Love Below for the Love Below.
Wait,
Speaker Box, wait, two different things.
Wait. Big Boy has dropped some dope solo. The son of Chico Dusty is dope. Sir Lucius Left Foot. He's dropped some solo. And I think that's one of the reasons why people haven't said Big Boy needs to drop, because he has. As opposed to Andre, he hasn't. And that's why people have clamored for Andre.
Okay.
True.
And I'm not going to let you get away with downplaying Speaker Box. I didn't
say it was bad or anything.
What happens is the Love Below is so unique. It's such a great album that you forget how good Speaker Box is. Mm. It's almost like a Jordan Pippen conversation. You could talk about the Bulls for 30 minutes. Yeah, you're going to respect Pippen, but you're going to spend most of your time talking about Jordan. But he's like, dog, Pippen is one of the dopest to ever do what he did. Like, if you give me you ask any active NBA player who they want their second man to be, everybody's taking Pippen. Like, they want Pippen. They want a Pippen on their team. It's just the fact that you're not your backup, but your counterpart is Big Boy. Like, if I'm a former group, I need a second person. Big Boy's that dude still. But speak about the super dope. It's just the Love Below. I might go listen to speak about.
I actually listened to it like last week, just some random stuff. So yeah,
like I just forget like how hard it go. Like Morris Brown and stuff like that. Like that just. I don't know.
All right, yeah. So I just wanted to have some fun, fellas. Who's next?
Oh yeah, but yeah, you're right. Space Age Pimpin' is a love song. It's just appreciative.
And so whoever said that, you're wrong. Just put it out there. You're wrong. So I want to go next then because I want to stay in the musical genre today.
Okay.
You guys know I am a huge proponent of canceling Chrisette Michelle. So that when that happened, I was like, she's done. She's dead to me. That's it. No more of her music. But then Kanye did his thing with Trump. Slavery was a choice, blah, 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 blah. And Donda dropped. And I fell victim to it. I listened to Donda because I wanted to see what the hype was about. And it is trash, by the way. I just want to throw that out there. Definitely trash. But I listened to it. So I saw a post that said, we canceled Chrisette, we canceled Kanye, but Kanye is still dropping music. People are still following him, and he's still getting a lot of attention. Is it time to revisit canceling Chrisette Michelle and letting her come back in the fold and start making music and everything again? So that is my question to you guys. Is it time to let her do her thing, or are we being hypocrites and we don't care? She can still stay canceled and we're still going to listen to Kanye.
I can't name 3 Chrisette Michelle songs. So exactly. I never canceled her because, and even if I did cancel her, my exception was Aston Martin Music by Rick Ross, one of my favorite songs of all time. That's my official Miami song, by the way. So I always included that loophole in her cancellation that, hey, I want to hear her on Aston Martin Music. But shut up. So it's not so much that we need to no longer cancel her. I mean, if she makes great music, I mean, we as a society have shown how weak we are. We rarely cancel something or someone and it stays that way forever. If we do, it's because we ain't really mess with it in the first place. Because I saw for the longest, it may be up until now. I mean, it's people that still won't cancel R. Kelly. So if you're talented enough, and I've had to learn to accept this too, because what Chrisette Michelle did is nowhere near as bad as R. Kelly or even some of the things Dr. Dre is accused of doing. What I've learned when it comes to entertainers is it's your own personal choice on who you choose to cancel and why you choose to cancel. Because for the most part, a lot of our favorite artists have done some bad things, whether it's something petty like Chrisette Michelle did to something James Brown did. You know, people, you have to pick and choose who you want to be fans of, because if you cancel everyone that did something bad that go against your morals, you won't have anyone in entertainment to follow or listen to or watch. And that's just the truth. And that's of the people we know of. Like, there's still some of our favorite entertainers that are doing stuff that we have yet learned about yet. So I would just say, make it your personal choice. If you want to welcome Chrisette Michelle back into the fold, that's cool. I mean, it's been 5 years now? Yeah, since she did that, 4 or 5 years. So, I mean, that's cool. But like I say, I'm the wrong person to ask because I never was really a fan of hers. So, you know, I have to let someone that was a fan of hers answer that question.
Well, they're probably not on the show. And I don't have anything.
Damn.
I don't have anything against her like that. But how would my life change? How would any of your lives change if she was back in the fold? Like now, now we can go to a Chrisette Michelle concert. Like, is that what we're looking at? You know, maybe she can do some features with people. I don't know how that changes. But I don't think people realize she's still canceled. I just don't think she's just top of mind enough.
Yeah.
And you said, will we allow her to still make music? The difference her and Ye is Ye never stopped making music. If she would have dropped a fire album, people would have forgiven her.
That's true. That's definitely true.
Byron, you were talking about people's moral compasses aren't that strong. I hate to be the person that brings. Our social media moral compass is stronger than our real moral compass.
Say that.
It's we care more about, or as a whole, we care more about what group thinks. Like that's what we're on. Like if there was a whole nother movement, if somebody started a movement and it got footing to bring back Chrisette Michelle, she can sell 1 million albums. Her old work will go platinum. It hasn't happened. I've heard out of 1 out of 10 people like Donda, but Kanye's still gonna go platinum because people are gonna go out there and listen to it just because it's Kanye and people are talking about it.
I do think this is the start of his downfall, though.
Really?
I don't think his next album, people are gonna run and rush to listen to it again.
But I think you're going to run a rush to listen to it just because you think it might be his fault.
I don't know, Razi, because let's be honest, Kanye hasn't had a dope album in over 10 years to me.
I agree. I agree.
But every time he drops, people check for it because his first 3 or 4 albums were so dope that he's a lot of the new generation's GOAT. Like you got Trae Young, the basketball player, saying, at what point do we put him past Jay-Z? Like he's a lot. I think Young Thug even said he was the GOAT. So he's a lot of the people that are younger than us. He's their GOAT. So and there are people that like Donda. Like Mike even said it's dope. And I've heard people explain it. Oh, it's dope. You just don't get it. You don't understand. He starts off in jail on the album and then he finds Jesus towards the end. I don't care. I mean, I don't care. Nice concept, but I don't care.
And maybe it'll grow on us. You
need to have that growth with dope songs along the way. That's great that you got a story inside of your album, but I need dope songs throughout it. So everybody's like, "Oh yeah, Jail is great." Okay, Jail is actually a pretty good song. I got that, but I think there's like 2 or 3 songs that I actually listened through the entire way through. I could make it through the whole song. Like out of 27 songs or 26 songs, however many is on the album, 3 good songs for me isn't a good album.
I haven't listened to a full Kanye album in over 10 years.
My Beautiful Twisted Dark Fantasy was probably
that might have been the last one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now
he arguably
has 4 classic albums, depending on how you grade classics. He arguably has 4.
With 808s and Heartbreaks, maybe
first three off rip. Like there's no question.
First 3, and then like I said, My Beautiful, and Razi mentioned 808 and Heartbreaks. Yeah, a lot of people like that too. So it's just put him in this stratosphere where people just consider him a musical genius, and to where he can almost do anything, and he has a certain segment of fans that are going to praise it no matter what.
But I mean, going back to the cancel culture, and maybe it's a sexist thing. I mean, maybe it's harder for women to bounce back. Once women go wrong, we cancel. Who are the women who've been canceled in popular culture recently? Like Chrisette Michelle.
What's the actor?
Who's the chick that
Stacey Dash? Stacey Dash apologized.
Stacey Dash. She did. Azalea Banks.
You may be on to something.
Or not Azalea Banks, but Iggy Azalea. Because she was canceled.
I don't remember Jim Brown getting all that smoke. I don't remember Steve Harvey getting all that smoke. Well, Steve Harvey did, but he bounced back. I mean, his career still is going on. And they smiled and took pictures with Trump. They went to Trump and took pictures with him. You know, Chrisette allegedly just got paid to sing, but we didn't come for Jim Brown like that. So,
then that was before Trump was full blown Trump. Even it need to be something petty. Like I think it is. It's just when who was it? What's the chick that pissed off all the Beyonce fans? Carrie Hilson.
Oh yeah,
or whatever.
Damn, that was a long time ago. Yeah. She,
like she was hot as hell, and then all of a sudden, like she pissed off Beyonce fans, and it was just like your career's over.
I mean, it happens that way. The baby is feeling it.
Speaking of Carrie Hilson, they had Carrie Hilson in Orange Grove Projects on that Rich Boy video. Throw some D's on it. You know what I'm saying? I just had to throw that out there.
But you got to think.
Or was it Roger? I think it was Roger Williams. My bad, Roger Williams project. Yeah. But the baby is a good
probably
example.
so because that's Somerville. But no, so the baby the baby can be canceled. Boosie can be canceled. They're all going. People that follow them are going to continue to. Byron, you kind of. Like Boosie's crowd.
I don't think Boosie's gonna get canceled.
No, I'm just saying the people that could get
because his fan base agrees with him.
Yes,
I think that's why I don't think Boosie's gonna get canceled.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is these are people that could get canceled or potentially should be canceled, but nothing's gonna happen to them. Mm-hmm. That's my point. The baby should be, could be, won't. Boosie should be, could be, won't. Chris Brown is America's sweetheart again. Like they love him.
I think, and this goes back to, like you talk about that moral compass, women, I think, have a stronger moral compass. And so you look at the fan basis of these folks. Chrisette Michelle had a mainly female fan base, black female fan base. So when she crossed the picket line and went to doing that with Trump, a lot of them, the same way they saved America, they were like, no, you're done. You're saying no? You don't think her fan base was mainly black female?
More social media.
I don't think women have a stronger moral.
Social media moral compass. Like they'll follow. Like
I'm not talking, okay, so
women kept R. Kelly in business, and they said, "Hey, I was 15 before I knew what I was doing. They knew what they were doing." Women continue to support Chris Brown when he beat Rihanna's ass. So I don't want to do the whole Olympics. I think we all just have weak moral compasses at times, and I don't think one is up.
But I think people's expectations of women versus men, that's the difference. Men, you expect men to do dumb shit, say dumb shit, and we're cool with Chris Brown doing this. We're cool with R. Kelly doing this. We're cool with people still love Bill Cosby. We're cool. We get over those things when it comes to men. When it comes to women, y'all got one strike.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
That's it. You know, it's like it doesn't.
So you think sexism plays a part in that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the easiest way to put it.
Yeah.
I think it's just a double standards.
Because here's a hypothetical: would we have forgiven? Would Beyonce have been forgiven as quickly as Jay-Z was? Because Jay-Z ain't hardly get any smoke behind stepping out on her, right? But if Beyonce had did that, I just think she would have been called all kind of bees and hoes. You know,
they would have defended. I feel like they would have defended her to the end.
Yep.
You think so?
They would have defended
the same way. I think it goes back, like you said. If she's still dropping awesome music, they're gonna forgive her.
Yeah. So it's.
I don't know about that one, man.
I feel like it would have been. Because she's untouchable. You know, it would have been it's justified.
Well, you guys are talking about
he had to do something.
Well, you guys are talking about the Beehive. Yes, but Beyonce is heavily criticized from her role in The Lion King to remaking that Frankie Beverly song. Yeah. She's not untouchable. She's lost. Matter of fact, once she did that performance at the Super Bowl, she lost a good segment of her fan base. So I don't think she's untouchable. Now to the Beehive, yes. But I think if she had done what Hove did, then I think it would be a lot of people calling her out more so than I don't think Jay-Z got called out at all. It's just like, hey, it's not our business. That's pretty much how we
right. I think I do think people would have called her out. It would have been talked about more. But when you get down to the point where canceling or her losing fans from that, I don't think that would have happened. I think she still would have went platinum the next thing.
This is your queen. She out here stepping out on her nigga. Like,
yeah.
guys would have had something to say.
Yes.
I feel like women would have defended it.
Yeah. Like they,
and the women that didn't defend it would have got over
like
it.
They defended, like they defended Will Smith, Jada Pinkett.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it would have been that exact same thing. Yeah. She would have went on Red Table Talk. It would have been all good. So it was an entanglement. All right, Ferg, what you got, man?
Oh man, I don't even know where I want to go with it now. I'm gonna take it a little in a different route. So school started for all everybody. You know, we're probably a week or two into school for most people, but I remember just trying to get everything ready, school shopping and stuff like that, and seeing these commercials and people trying to, you know, there's a whole like big back to school shopping like thing. People had to have that fresh outfit. I remember being, you know, in middle school and high school, wishing I could wear real clothes. But, you know, when people had that chance to have that fresh fit, that was a big thing. And now it's like people have to have like outfits for the first week or two. Like these kids come, like they have a whole wardrobe plan. And it just made me think about how many parents go out of their way to just make these things happen. You know, we take care of our kids. We do what we can. And so my question is, do you feel that you owe your kids the life that you can't afford to give them? What happens when their social expectations exceed your social economic status? So maybe not us, you know, we're not going to break the bank on J's and stuff like that. I know people got 3-4 kids and all the kids are going to school fresh to death on the first day of school. First day of school, you didn't spend $1,000 on outfits. Like, I feel like these are real world situations, but with social media being the way it is, and there's a lot of pressure for kids to walk around looking like stars. What do parents do? What are your thoughts on people trying to meet these expectations for their kids?
I guess my thoughts are no different than when people try to live outside their means in any other aspect of their life, not just for their kids, but just in anything. I mean, this society puts a lot of pressure, and especially with social media, even more pressure on you trying to keep up with what you see others doing. I seen like, man, the way they doing it for prom now. Have you guys seen the prom pictures? Like, they renting Rolls Royces and wearing Ferragamo belts and suits.
You're behind. You know, there's before they go to the prom, there's a thing called a promposal. So people are dropping bread to ask people out to the prom. Like they're renting foreigns and everything just to ask people to the prom.
I'm so glad. So my 1990 Nissan Stanza wouldn't have cut it if I was still in high school.
You would have to sell your car to take Tabitha to the prom.
I mean, we just had a rented tux back then, man.
But I think those things are the Instagram exceptions, right? Like
it's not the norm.
Every kid's not doing that. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that's the norm. Every kid's not doing that. I mean, you know, I've seen just as many, you know, some roses at the basketball game. Will you go to prom with me? As the foreigns and everything else. So yeah, there are people that are doing that, but I don't think that's the norm. I think it just gets sensationalized. That's the one that hits, you know, on everybody's feed because it became huge and everything. And so but I think there is pressure for kids to do that because they're seeing that on their feed. They're seeing that that's the super awesome thing, and that's setting the expectation. And so now these kids think, well, I need to be proposed or promposed like that. I need to, you know, be over the top and everything for prom. But I think, you know, Jen would get like requests to make prom dresses and she would turn them down. Like, I'm not doing that for a 17-year-old. I'm not making that for a 17-year-old. So, you know, there's a little bit of that too, where she's like, I think I'm not putting my name on that. I'm not going to sully my brand with making that for your kid. It's too sexual or whatever. So there was a little bit of that too, where people have to kind of draw the line. Kids are going way out on that Ferg, you talked about the $1,000 on the first day of school. I mean, or the week of school having a fit for the whole week. You know, when we weren't in uniforms, we had to go out. We would be fresh like that for a week because you went and bought school clothes and you went school shopping, and your parents had to buy a week, 2 weeks worth of clothes for school shopping. So yes, you had a fresh fit for the first week of school because that was all your school clothes that your parents had bought. You just made sure that you wore them, you know, throughout the week. But then after that, it's all old clothes. So, but I you know, my kids, I don't do that. It's like I buy when they need clothes. So, you know, when you mess up your shoes, I'll buy you new shoes. When you grow out of your shoes, I'll buy you new shoes.
But are you going to go out and buy them the most expensivest? What's 2 Chainz expensivest? Like that's my thing.
I'm not, but I can. The thing is,
but you can afford.
They
that.
probably are some of the most expensive shoes.
The flex
but the problem is because I can. Because I can afford the most expensive shoes, right? So, but when it comes down to parents who are living beyond their means and buying stuff, it's. I gave that story of after I hit the club one night in Mobile and I stopped by and, you know, the kids couldn't buy food, but had chains on and a pair of J's on, like they were looking good. It's that idea of I want to look like I have money, but don't. And those kids do that a lot. And unfortunately, that's the hood. You know, we call it hood rich for a reason. It's like they want to look like they have money, but knowing that they don't have it in the background, they know that their lights could be cut off, but they got a fresh fit. You know, and I don't know how you change that. I don't know if you can change that because those kids want to feel important. Those kids want to feel like, you know, they're not poor.
But the thing about it is, but if they are, what are your expectations? Do you continue to live outside of your means, trying to appease a 15-year-old who doesn't understand the value of?
Well, I don't know if they're trying to appease a 15-year-old or they're trying to protect their kids from bullying. Because you got to think kids are horrible.
Okay, so you're paying a premium price so your kids can look good enough not to get bullied.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't. But the thing about it is, you're still an adult. You still have other responsibilities that, you know, and I'm not saying right or wrong, but this is why it came to me. Is like, I agree with you. Like, it's not like you're trying to do certain things, but it's like, yeah, I don't want my kid to be the outlier, you know. But at the same time, it's like, but you're working 2-3 jobs. You're doing certain things. You're behind on this. You're behind on rent. You're behind just so you can portray this, not even this image, because a lot of times we all know who's broke.
Mm-hmm.
We know that you fresh, but you still broke. And it's not hell, because we're all broke. But at the same time, could that $200, $300 we just spent on StockX to get some J's go to something else in that household?
It could, but like, remember we were having the whole, you know, spouse over kid conversation, and Byron's like, the kid comes first. And I think that's in those parents' mentality, that's what it is. It's like, I will work those 3 jobs so my kid can have what they need. Need. Well, I mean, want, yeah. But you know, I will do that so that I can set my kid up. In their mind, I can set my kid up for success in the future, even though that isn't really helping that kid in the future. Teaching financial responsibility actually would be more responsible, right? Teaching emotional intelligence so that your kid understands that, no, nigga, I'm wearing Walmarts because we ain't got it like that. And that's what we can afford right now. But I got shoes on my feet and I'm here at school.
And I'm not telling them to wear Bobos. I'm just saying you can wear it.
There's an in-between too, because like if you're middle class and your kid is going to a school with people who got it like that, like how you say Hermes belt is $1,200. A belt. Mm-hmm. A belt
Never
with,
heard of
with
it.
an H with an H on it is $1,200. You ain't gotta buy that. But to speak to what Razi was saying is you don't want your kid to be bullied. Okay, maybe not get, Versace or whatever, but you can get them Polo or something some in the mid level. So I think you can, like, my daughter hasn't asked for anything yet that I can't afford, but she has asked for things that I'm like, nah, we're not paying that much for it. Like the digital tablet that she draws on now, I want to say the first one she asked for, including the software, was like $1,200. And tablet was like, no, we're not gonna get that. And we found one that works just as well, which was like a third of the cost. You know what I mean? So speaking to your question, Ferg, what kind of pressure do you feel? I think you asked. I mean, you just have to kind of use common sense and reason. Like, yeah, sometimes you do want to go the extra mile to get your kid, especially if your kid, they're doing what they're supposed to do. They follow directions. They're getting good grades. They're listening to you. They're respectful. Then, yeah, you want to go out the way. You may go out there and buy something that is a bit overpriced, but they really want it. They've been doing everything they're supposed to. You get it. But that's not something you can do all the time. And when it comes to the choice of keeping the lights on, keeping food on the table versus getting them some J's, which I don't think that exists. I know that's an example we in the Black community use all the time. I just don't think there's any real life examples where someone bought a pair of J's and they got kicked out of their apartment because they couldn't afford the rent. Just as a parent overall, be reasonable, know your child, know what you can afford, and, just case by case scenario. You shouldn't be, sacrificing your car note or the electricity bill to get them a fresh fit.
Yeah. And there's a old saying in the Black community that say, stop counting my pockets. So, get out of folks' pockets. It's one of those things that, like Buff said, if they lights on and they want to work 3 jobs and get the kids all that stuff, man, that's on them. Yeah. That's really on them. They grinding it out so that they can get the kids what they feel is, what the kids want or need. And sometimes those parents' love language is gifts like that anyway. So that's another part of it, is that parent is gifting this stuff to the kids because it makes them feel good to give it to the children. So that's another part you got to kind of think through.
And that's why I was asking, are parents obligated? Because I feel like are they doing it is there an obligation to do that? Or is it more, okay.
But I think there's pressure. I think there is pressure to do it, especially unfortunately in like poorer areas. I think there's more pressure than it is in some of the higher end, because there's kind of this going thing now where, in places with more money, they want to see how inexpensive they can be, right? Or like, oh, I've had these for 7 years now, or this is my 3rd year with these sneakers or whatever. So there's kind of that trend going on too. Or, I thrifted this stuff, and so, I got this whole outfit for $10 or some junk. So there's that trend going on too.
So Razi, I want to clarify. Were you speaking hypothetically, or would you consider spending money if it meant your child not getting bullied? Would you consider spending money on a name brand clothing item or something so Sophie or Ali, or when Haley was younger, wouldn't get bullied?
I wouldn't, because like I was talking about, I teach emotional intelligence. I teach if somebody's bullying you because you don't have something, that's their problem, not yours. But again, it's hard for me because I'm not in that situation, right? I'm not in a situation where I can't get something for my kids.
And that's not going to work on a bully.
Well, I know it's not, but I mean, again, going back to emotional intelligence, right? It's like, unless they put their hands on you, and they can be over there and they can talk all that junk or whatever. It's their issue that they have with you. Can you emotionally get through it? What is the thing that you need to do to get through it? That's not me going and buy stuff so that you can conform so they don't bully you. It's how do you stop the bully? So it's addressing the bully. It's not addressing what they're bullying you for.
Okay. And so the reason I chose to use the word obligation because, and you talked about teaching, I think sometimes these are patterns where somebody's parents work these 2-3 jobs for the same reasons we said above to create this image or this lifestyle for their kids. In doing this, sometimes don't teach them other things about, emotional intelligence, fiscal responsibility and stuff like that. So they find themselves in similar situations. And because mom did this or dad did this exact same thing for me, now I feel obligated to do this for my kids and, to do the same thing. And because I've had the friends, family members I've seen, especially when the parent did that for them, that grandparent's going to spoil and put that same pressure on their, well, I did this for you. Mm-hmm. I know people that the grandparents,
And it goes to the parents' priorities, right? Like a lot of times those parents that are doing that for the kids are the same ones that's spending that on their fit. They're the ones that they got to be fresh to death and they don't have any extra money or whatever. True. So, it's the priorities and the lens that parent is looking through, as well as the pressure from the society and where the kid is in school or whatever. So I think all of that plays into it.
I think sometimes it can be almost a curse. I mean, you've been taught this way. This is how you were raised. You're taught, and so you continue to do it for yourself and maybe put yourself in a bad financial situation. You have kids and you continue to do it for them and potentially put yourself in a bad financial situation. And you're teaching this culture of mom and dad were fresh to death. I was fresh to death. My kid's going to be fresh to death. They going to do all this stuff, yada, yada, yada. And they might not, the lights might not get cut off, but they're borrowing money here and there, burning bridges to make things happen. Because I've seen those situations. Not saying this happens all the time.
They're living check to check, don't have any retirement savings or savings in general, don't have an emergency fund, don't have retirement, don't have any of those stuff. They're not financially stable. So they may not be destitute to the point where, like you said, the lights are getting cut out and they're getting put out, but they aren't financially stable enough to be spending that $1,000 there when they could be putting it somewhere else. Definitely agree there.
Do you? I just wanted to know how you guys, the pressures of people dealing with those kind of things. So,
and that pressure is real too. That's not something you can downplay. It's real. You definitely have to actively stiff arm it, man.
And Byron, you made some good points too. When it was like, we're looking at, there's tiers to this, being in certain, being middle class or whatever. Yeah, you can afford to go buy your kids those J's or whatever, but there's next level shit. Mm-hmm. You go to the wrong school, your kids are wearing J's. If they're not wearing the
limiteds and the StockX hard to get ones. Yeah, it's like it don't matter. I was like, oh, you went to Foot Locker and bought those off the shelf.
My butler wears those. But there's going to be situations where, depending on the lifestyle your kids lead, even when they get older, going to college and they're around people who might have more money and stuff like that, are they going to feel the pressure to, and that their lifestyle that they were content with isn't up to par. And now, you got to get them the nicest car and you got to get them the nicest clothes, and you look up and the credit card bill is maxed out because Ali and Sophie and Haley then maxed everything out trying to live up to this lifestyle. It's interesting. So what you guys got for us? Go ahead and close it on out.
I'm too cheap for any of that to ever happen.
Sounds good. You don't want your kids to be bullied.
I don't. So I don't have a whole lot, man. Parting shots for me really is just talking through Go Blazers. I'm loving UAB's program growth on that. So love that part. But other than that, man, listeners, go check out the YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. We appreciate it. Share this and make sure you hit that subscribe button. But if you listen to it on any of your podcasting platforms, jump over to YouTube, look us up, Three Brothers No Sense. We got a lot of content. We're doing the videos, and we're going to start dropping additional content that's not going to be in the podcast on there as well. So check us out on YouTube as well as on Facebook. That's all I got, man.
We had a couple of birthdays that have passed, so I just want to give a quick shout out to DJ Tight Mike, a.k.a. Bruce, a.k.a. Mike. Happy belated birthday, bro. Happy birthday, Akila. We did some FaceTime shots with her over the weekend. So happy birthday to both of you guys. I just want to piggyback. Razi actually took what I was going to hit on. And I just wanted to put this out here because I know we always stress, please listen to the podcast, share the podcast. We are aware that not everyone likes to listen to a podcast. And we can appreciate that. But there are other ways you can support the show if you still rock with us. If you want to just share the post, that helps. Comment on our social media posts and keeping it in rotation so that it's on people's news feed. That helps. Just, telling people about the show. Razi mentioned the YouTube channel, sharing our videos, buying some merchandise. All of that helps. Helping spread the word helps. If you're the type of person that, listen, I don't listen to podcasts. I listen to music and I watch TV. I'm not trying to listen to somebody talk for an hour. Got it. But like I said, if you rock with us, share our stuff. Visit 3brothersnosense.com. Get you some merch. We got polos, hats, masks, all great price. You can't beat the prices on the website. So that's all I'm asking. It's the equivalent to one of Razi's favorite lines on Coming to America. Obviously, we want money that folds. Okay? That's listening to the podcast. But if that's not your thing, we will appreciate the money that jingles as well. And that's sharing our posts, commenting on our social media feed. We appreciate all the support, not just listening to the podcast, but, subscribing to YouTube, following us on Instagram, things like that. So all of it is appreciated. And just spread the word. Like I always say, tell 5 of your friends about us. Have them follow us on IG. Have them subscribe on YouTube. And that'll help just as much.
Well, y'all made my job easy. I didn't really have to. I was going to close with that. But, hey, I don't think it needs to be said anymore. So I'm going to take a minute to say, bam, you. Bam, you. Bam, got you. So college football kicked off this weekend, like I said earlier. Today is Sunday, and FAM is playing Jackson State College, University or something like that. I don't know the name of the school really. But this is FAM's first real game. They've been joined the SWAC, and there's been a lot of noise talking. So we're happy to be in the SWAC. We're happy for the competition. I want to have a moment to pray for all the HBCU homecomings that are coming up that are going to be potentially canceled. I know Morehouse just got canceled. The Spellhouse homecoming just got canceled this past weekend. I think it's supposed to happen in mid-October. Don't know about ours yet, but I see a lot of people pulling out, including myself. So if your homecoming isn't canceled, please be safe out there. I'll pray for you guys. The people that do go, have fun, be safe. I know my fellow Rattlers are in Miami this weekend doing it big. Byron, if it wasn't for the pandemic, I'd probably be down there and I would have invited you. They're doing yacht parties and everything. It's going down in Miami right now for FAMU, JSU weekend. But we will do it again. Trust me. So 3 Brothers No Sense. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again. Talk to you next week.